Hey there, everyone. Welcome to today's video. I'm here with Aamena from SkinFit. How are you doing today, Aamena?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing amazing, thank you. So Aamena and I, we've been working together for a little while now. I'm not sure how long it is. I think it's like maybe 4 to 5-ish months or something, Aamena, roughly.
About 4 months, yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know who you are, can you share a little bit about who you are, your business, talk a little bit about all of that and what you do?
Yeah, so I have a salon in Brisbane, in New Farm, and we have been operational for about 9 years now. At the moment, we are an organic salon, but we didn't start out that way. And we specialize in facials, a more holistic approach to facials and skin, and also lashes and brows. So that's pretty much who we are. And we came from like a large corporate. So I used to be part of a franchise, which was very difficult to be profitable in. And after COVID, I switched over to being an independent salon, and I haven't looked back.
Fantastic. So it's been quite a journey as well, by the sounds of it too, which is cool for SkinFit New Farm up there.
Yeah, a business is always a journey, right?
Totally it is. Totally it is. Walk us through a little bit about what you're going through and just some of the challenges and things like that prior to working together.
So after I walked away from the big corporate franchise model, I rebranded and went a more natural, holistic, organic route, which is not a very big space. It's quite niched, but it's very much needed in the industry, I believe. So yeah, we rebranded. That took a bit of time, and doing everything as well as an owner, business owner, you kind of wear all the hats. I then took on a HIFU service, and I was starting to get quite good results with clients in Salon. But we wanted to, take it up a notch and do some advertising in our local area. And I've tried previous social media marketers in the past and got a little bit of traction, but they just never quite understood the industry or my business, to be honest. It always starts off with an offer, which I'm happy to do, but I find that most marketers, or the ones that I've dealt with anyway, just had no idea about my industry and how cutthroat it really is, and the fact that you attract when you reduce the cost of something, you attract a different client base. And I wasn't interested in just the cheap and nasty, but they were just pushing for that, and it didn't sit well with me because we are a premium brand. We are in a very high end area of Brisbane, and we wanted to offer something to a much more high end client that was going to be, the longevity of that client was more important to me than just that one service. And they didn't understand that. And also, they didn't understand the science around HIFU. It was just all about getting bookings in, and they at my expense, basically. So I tried a couple of companies, got burnt very badly, was out of pocket, and I just left a bad taste in my mouth. And then I think I came across one of your ads on Facebook, and I watched something similar, somebody talking to you about their experience. And I was not skeptical, just I was afraid. And I try not to put any blocks in front of my business, but, once bitten, twice shy. And also, I didn't want to be left in with the huge debt at the end either. So, yeah, I very cautiously reached out, and I think I had maybe 2 or 3 meetings with you before I decided to jump in, because I was nervous, having been burnt twice before. And when I say burnt, I don't just mean I had invoices to pay. I had, like, my Facebook account was shut down for 90 plus days. It was just an absolute nightmare, with these other companies not taking responsibility, pretending to try to help me, or maybe they were trying to help me. I really don't know, how the level at which they were trying to fix the situation. But yeah, that's what I found myself in. And that's why I was so apprehensive at first. And then, yeah, I'm a bit of a risk taker. So I jumped in because I wanted to see the HIFU start up again. Because when we had the ads running and they were running well, we did well. So I knew that for a fact. So I had to just look at the black and white figures and go, well, when we advertised, we had bookings, and now we're not advertising, we don't have bookings. I need to do something about it. And I felt like, Jared, you listened and you understood the industry a bit more than most. And I guess I just took a leap of faith and it's paid off.
Cool, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you kind of answered a couple of questions in one there too, which is perfect. Kind of like what made you decide to get started with us as well. So talk to us about like what life's like now. So obviously we're now sort of 4.5, 5 months in, somewhere around that region, right? Just talk us through some of the results you've had so far.
So the ads, we're running several ads right now. So the ads are working really well. We're getting good traction on them. We're getting bookings on a daily basis. And because we've tied it in with my online booking system, it's so easy. They get the information, they decide to book. I do jump in and talk to clients as well, because a lot of times clients will ask questions, even though we've given them the information, they'll still ask, where are you located? And it's all in the information. You just have to respond. And I feel like that's key to the success, because once those ads are set up, we have to sort of try to engage with them as best we can so we can get those bookings going. So I do a lot of that, and that can seem like a lot of work, but it pays off in the long run.
Yeah, yeah. Because we had a look at some of your results there, I think just recently actually too, and we went through how like just from one of your offers, you're converting inquiries to bookings at 50%, which is pretty high, right? And I won't say anybody else will be able to do this, because this is, also down to skill levels of yourself, right, as well too. But it's great to know that you're getting such great conversion rates on your advertising inquiries. And that's like that, down to that little thing you mentioned, right, where you jump in and you answer questions and you ask them to book and take them to that next step, right, which is hats off to you, right, as the owner. And then there's the other side to it too, where we looked at like the bookings that you've had that came through based on the amount that you spent on ads. And we worked out it was like for every dollar you spend, you're making $3.60 back. And the HIFU ones were like $4.50 back for every dollar you're spending as well, right? So in our advice and things like that is spend more, which you've been able to do on your ads profitably now as well as you continue to grow, which is awesome.
And sometimes, I mean, it's quiet. Sometimes you don't get any messages. And then certain times of the day, because that's the way social media is, certain times of the day are just busier than others. And I was traveling, because I didn't mention, for those who don't know, I don't actually live in Brisbane. I'm living overseas. So I kind of run the business from a distance. And I was going to catch my flight back to Brisbane a couple of weeks ago. And on my way to the airport, I had several messages that I was responding to. And between the journey from home to the airport and checking in my luggage and getting to my gate, I had taken 2 HIFU bookings and 3 neo lifting bookings. So that was a total of, what's that? Was it like over $1,000, like almost
well
2,000?
and truly over.
It's like
Yeah.
1,500 or something. Yeah. And I thought, oh, well, that was a good couple of hours worth of work. And the bookings, because they're going through my booking system, I don't have to worry about, whether they're not going to show up. I've got their deposit, and it's all pretty much money in the bank. So, yeah, that's an example of how those things work once everything's up and running.
Profitable trip to the airport. That's all I
Yeah.
can say. Amazing, amazing. And for those that might be watching this video as well too, Aamena, like what advice would you have for them if they're maybe a little bit on the fence? They're like, oh, is this real? This offer that I'm seeing online, like maybe they're a little bit afraid to take that next step. Like what would you say to those people that are in the same position that you probably
I'd
were at some
say,
stage?
you know what, I get it. And it is scary. And it was for me as well, especially if you've tried other marketing companies before and they promise the world and they deliver nothing. And there's so many out there. So it's really hard to find, the diamond in the rough, so to speak. But at the end of the day, you have to feel comfortable with the person that you're handing over your social media marketing to, and they need to understand your business. So if you don't get that feeling from Jared, then yeah, move on. But I definitely got that feeling. So I was like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to give him a go. And if you've tried something and you failed, it doesn't mean that you failed forever. It just means, you know, you made that mistake. Now you're a little bit wiser. And from my two bad experiences with social media marketing companies made me understand, I think, social media a little bit better. So when I did speak to you, Jared, I knew exactly what I didn't want to do. You know, I kind of said, I don't want to do this. Don't ask me to do that. This is what I want. And I was a lot more, I guess, focused on what it is that I wanted out of my marketing instead of just relying on the social media marketer to tell me what they wanted to do, which is not necessarily the right thing for your business. So by failing twice, I've actually fine-tuned what it is that I wanted to do in this space for my business.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not discounting services.
Not yeah, exactly. Although that's what it looks like, but you have to be smart in the way you deliver that information in the ad. But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Still,
We don't want to
still,
run at a loss. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you, Aamena, and thanks so much for jumping on today and just explaining a little bit of your story and your experience. And I know we're going to do some more amazing stuff together, especially with some of the things that we've got going on now for the next month as well, which is going to be exciting to see how this pans out, which I'm sure it will be successful. But yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And thanks for jumping on today.
No worries. Thanks, Jared.
Amazing.